Come with me on a day trip to surprise my mum. My flight was supposed to leave Gatwick at an ungodly time in the morning, so instead of taking a taxi and paying the amount I'd spend on staying in a hotel, I decided to spend that money on staying in a hotel. After a couple of trains through some of the busiest stations in London at rush hour,
if you've never actually been to Clapham Junction Station before, here's a quick pro tip: don't.
I arrived at Gatwick at around 8 PM and headed straight for the Yotel. And before you ask, yes, this is the same company that owns Yo Sushi. They also run hotels. After collecting my key, I headed straight for my room, number 37. I wouldn't call it small, I'd say it's more functional. Nothing you need isn't within arm's reach.
Not gonna lie, they do manage to fit a lot of stuff into this room considering the size that it is. The phone's about, less than a metre above my head right now on ultralight, and you can probably see quite a lot around me. There's pretty much everything that you'd need for a night stay.
On the left, a bed with some surprisingly comfortable bedding. At the foot of the bed, what looks like a 32-inch TV. To the right of the bed, a desk which folds away when you're not using it. And above that, a mirror, some luggage space, and a hanger for your clothes. Moving to the right, we've got a glass divider which separates us from the wet room, which comes with some soap from Urban Jungle, some decent towels, a toilet, a sink, and a shower. There's also this little foldy outy step which allows you to get onto the bed, which is a really good thing as the bed is incredibly high above the ground even for me. You also get some nice amenities like a little glass, some USB chargers, which I cannot believe I actually thought were BT phone ports, if you know you know, and even a menu to order room service from. There are options for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as some snacks, but to be honest, the call to be a basic bitch was simply too much, and within a few minutes of being in the room, I proceeded to leave it and go get a sandwich from Pret instead. So what about the price? My stay in the hotel cost about 140 quid for the night, which I know does seem a bit steep for a room like this, but it actually isn't the average price. Anyway, my flight was at 3 AM, so I knew I had to get my pajamas on and get ready for bed, but the last thing I wanted to do was test out the TV. Despite there being free and relatively decent Wi-Fi, I genuinely did want to test if the TV was usable and got good service. And it seemed like my timing was perfect, because just as I was about to get into bed, after the episode, I put the lights out and woke up about 5 hours later feeling lovely and refreshed. Just kidding, I tossed and turned all night as I was worried about getting up and getting to my flight on time. One thing I found so surreal about this experience was being able to wake up around an hour and 15 minutes before my flight, shower, and just waltz out of my room and be at security within 5 minutes.
It's an hour before my flight. I only woke up 15 minutes ago, and I'm still sort of early.
So would I recommend staying here?
100%. I would take that hotel over an early morning taxi any day of the week.
With that out of the way, it was time to head through security.
My bag is being held hostage.
And make a beeline for the gate. The flight was relatively uneventful, which I guess is kind of what you want for this time of the morning. And before I knew it, I was filming part 2 of this video. You should watch part 2, it's a good video. Part 2 out now on video and DVD.